Today we will be covering a story about a white girl becoming a white supremacist after living in Brooklyn. Esme Brewer is at the flea market with her girlfriend, Aaliyah. Everything is fine until a white supremacist rally happens in the middle of the market. Some angry people pulled the protesters from the stage to stop them. Not far from where the girlfriends are, a guy sits quietly inside his car watching. Esme is so uncomfortable that she quickly wants to go home, when suddenly a car drives right through the crowd, hitting someone. After the incident, Aaliyah starts to pretend to be a white supremacist with a username White Future to look for the driver who ran over her friend. She continues to talk to people online with the same ideology, hoping she'll find the attacker. Esme is worried because Aaliyah has been at it for a week now, and the police are still doing nothing. Aaliyah is mad that her friend Jordan is in a body cast and may never walk again, and yet no one is doing anything to find the fugly-ass person responsible. Esme admits that she's upset about what happened, but doesn't want to get consumed by it because she knows how toxic it is. Seeing that it upsets her girl, Aaliyah drops everything and spends some bumping and grinding time with Esme. Later, Esme apologizes for losing her cool and arguing. She admits it gets to her sometimes too, and it's difficult for her to deal with it. Esme thinks that they've finally moved on, so she's surprised to find out that Aaliyah is still looking for the driver. She even finds someone who she believes knows who the culprit is. And that day, the guy has decided to pay her a visit. It turns out he tracked her address. The two don't know what to do because Aaliyah pretended to be a white supremacist, so she can't really show herself. She asks Esme to meet the guy instead. Esme doesn't want to get involved, but Aaliyah has managed to persuade her. Just before the trial, Esme's defense attorney says the DA has a new settlement offer. Esme won't have to face a first-degree murder charge, but she has to plead second and make a statement expressing her regret. The attorney advises her to take the plea deal because it's good for her, but Esme insists she doesn't regret what she did and that nothing can change her mind. Back in the past, the fugly white supremacist looks charmed the moment he sees Esme, so he asks her out. He admits he was suspicious at first, which is why he has decided to track her address. He never reveals his name, so we can just call him Incel. He's obviously into her, and Esme notices that the guy's flirting with her. While he casually drops some racist comments in their conversation, Esme tries to find out the driver's name, but Incel won't give it. He even brags that they are planning something way bigger than what happened at the flea market. As soon as she gets home, Esme confronts Aaliyah for pretending to be her when talking to Incel online. Aaliyah apologizes and says the situation demanded it and that she only did it to get Incel to trust her. Then Esme contacts a police officer and shows him Incel's photo, saying he might be the driver or he might know who the driver was. She even gives a rough estimate and description about where he currently stays. However, she didn't really get his real name and only knew his Discord handle. So the police tell her to stop playing detective and to just let them do their job. Seeing that it bothers Esme so much, Aaliyah says they should just drop it and move on. Disappointed by the cops not taking any action, Esme continues to talk to Incel. She's now more interested in it than Aaliyah is. Incel has invited her upstate to a compound to meet his friends. Aaliyah thinks Esme won't go, but Esme has already made up her mind. She explains that when she was younger, her brother Charlie threw a bottle at a black kid's head. The kid tried to fight back, but Charlie's friends ganged up on him and attacked him mercilessly, and the poor kid couldn't do anything but scream. Esme recalls that she didn't do anything then, which is why she feels like she has to do something now. Aaliyah thinks it's not safe for Esme to go, so she wants to finally reveal her identity. But Esme knows it will only put Aaliyah in danger, so she insists on going alone. She kisses her girl goodbye before heading out to meet Incel. When the car door opens, Esme is surprised to see an older, fullier racist guy instead of the younger racist guy she was expecting. Although he never mentions his name at Esme, we can call him Castrato. He's suspicious how Esme suddenly appears into Incel's life, and all of a sudden he's taking her to their hideout, so he wanted to see for himself who she is. Esme tries to act cool, although she's on the verge of walking back to the safety of her apartment. She has managed to act tough so far, and she knows she only has one chance to see their compound. When Castrato is about to leave, Esme decides to swallow her fear and get in the car with him. Incel welcomes Esme when she arrives, but Castrato is still suspicious and remains wary of their guest. Incel introduces Esme to his friends, and they bond over racist stories while doing some target shooting. Incel is head over heels, and he continues to brag about his new girl. An inbred man tells Esme that he loves everyone, including black people and Jews, as long as they stay in their own countries. The conversation quickly makes her uncomfortable, but she's not leaving until she finds out about the driver. Castrato is bothered, and he thinks Esme looks familiar. Incel keeps talking about the big plan they have, saying it's the reason why Castrato is agitated. When Castrato orders Incel to help him, Esme makes an excuse to go to the toilet. She secretly follows the two and finds herself in a garage. And there, not far from where she stands, is the car that hit Jordan and a swastika banner above it. She quickly contacts Aaliyah, but just as she picks up the phone, Castrato shows up and demands an explanation. Esme is so scared that she has no choice but to give up her phone's password. And when Castrato sees a photo of Esme with a black girl, he loses it. He's frantic. Not only is Esme a liar, but she's also gay. He's so angry that he hits her unconscious. When Esme wakes up, she's tied and injured. Castrato is going through her phone, pretending to be her and messaging Aaliyah so she won't worry about her. Castrato thinks they have no choice but to kill her on the spot, so Esme starts to beg for her life. He finally remembers why Esme looks so familiar. She was there at the flea market when the white inbred rally took place. Then he remembers seeing Esme making out with her black girlfriend. That's when he lost it, so he started his engine and drove through the crowd. Esme promises she won't tell anyone, but Castrato doesn't believe her. Loverboy Incel stops him, saying that the feds will look for them for killing a white girl, and they are already in hot water after what happened at the flea market. So Castrato puts the blame on him and says it was his fault for bringing a stranger to their hideout in the first place. Just before Castrato hits her with a crowbar, Incel jumps in to save her. While they beat up each other, Esme gets enough time to free herself. Castrato is about to attack her, but Incel puts him in a headlock and tells Esme to take the car and leave. So she drives away from the place as fast as she can. She contacts Aaliyah and tries to give a quick detail of what happened, even providing an address so the authorities can quickly take action. It is a public trial, and anyone is allowed to be there. But when some white meth heads enter, looking to cause some disruption, Judge Morse orders them to behave appropriately. Aaliyah is then called as a witness. The crowd isn't pleased, and they are not shy to voice out their disagreement. The white guests are causing so much disturbance that the judge gives an order to remove them from the court. The place is packed with bystanders and police officers when Esme gets home. Aaliyah immediately comforts Esme and hugs her as she cries. The authorities then inspect the car for any evidence, and when they check the trunk, the bomb inside sets off and explodes. After the explosion, Esme can't help but feel guilty. She feels even worse that the police didn't find anything in the hideout when they came to check the place. They say that the owner is a guy in a nursing home in New Jersey and that the attackers were probably from out of state. Esme can't believe that no one will be held responsible for what happened. So Aaliyah advises her to just let the police do their job and not to get involved in it anymore. Before they leave, Esme finds the paper target they used in the name of the shop where it was bought. Days after the incident, she remains bothered and unable to move forward. She looks for the shop without telling her girlfriend. Instead, she tells Aaliyah that she just needs some time alone to think things over. Aaliyah thinks it's not good for Esme to be alone with her thoughts, but she can't do anything but trust her decision at the moment. Aaliyah is worried, but Esme says she'll stay with her friend Lauren for a few days. She assures Aaliyah that she's not mad at her and they just need some time apart. But Esme has already found the shop, and she's determined to stay and wait to see what happens next. However, Aaliyah found out that she was lying because she contacted Lauren on Facebook. She then starts to think that their relationship is falling apart. After 2 days, Aaliyah realizes that Esme is out looking for the white supremacist duo who ran over Jordan. She wants to help Esme so badly, but Esme refuses to get her involved. After a few days, Esme sees 2 familiar faces walking into the shop, Incel and Castrato. She even walks to the store to confirm that it is them. Then she calls Aaliyah to tell them she finally found the guys. Aaliyah asks her not to do anything, and she will contact the police instead, but Esme is determined not to let them go. So Aaliyah reminds Esme that she left her white supremacist family when she was 15, and fate brought them together. But Esme has already made up her mind. When she spots the 2 walking out, this badass starts her engine and runs them over. The prosecutor confirms that Aaliyah was on the phone with Esme before the incident. When the judge warns her that she's under oath, Aaliyah relays her last conversation with her girlfriend, spilling the entire truth. Outside, people show their support for Esme, but the prosecutor tells the reporters that the jury arrived with a guilty verdict after it was proven that Esme waited for nearly 2 weeks for Incel and Castrato to show up. Then she ran them over, a clear sign of premeditated murder. Esme gets in the back of a police car, and Aaliyah walks home alone. The life they planned together is no longer a possibility. Damn, that was honestly really sad. Esme became a vigilante, but for the good of everyone. She should be praised. This is a show called Accused, where each episode is a different story. Should we cover more?
Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications. And leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.